The ancient Indian philosophers were probably right. Vibration is the origin of everything. Philosophers believed that with every breath, starting a sound, a universe was born. The Brahman, its initiation. Vishnu, its life. And Shiva, its end. In each breath, a universe. No different from cyclical universe theory, the most common interpretation of our universe now. The idea that we're in a series of big bangs. Our universe is just one of many, an infinite number. We ride through this cycle, and we can express it in every breath that we take. When Naciketa entered the house of Yama in the Katha Upanishad, Yama taught him many things, but he also gave him the gift of Om, telling him this was the secret of creation. And of course, it is. The Indian philosophers are never wrong. Om is made up of two sounds. The first is a glide vowel O, which has all kinds of hidden sounds within it. Let me join, my friends. Can you hear the magic little sounds? They're in my voice and in your voice. They are the concentrations of energy that are one of the most fundamental patterns of our existence. Matter, energy works like that at its simplest form, exponential expressions of vibration. And of course, this is string theory, the most contemporary theory perhaps of the nature of reality and matter, that our experience is made up of single-dimensional strings that are vibrating like this. And that those are the particles of the matter that surrounds us. Vibrations of sound connect to us through our skin and our bones. From the primal cell, we have been sensitive to mechanical vibration of sound around us. Bottom of the ocean, where we all began, probably. We were sensing the vibration on the cytoplasm of our original cell, now the bone and the skin, and a beautiful organ, the tympanic membrane in our ear, specialized to do this. Picking up, as I hear Prakriti's voice in my ear and yours, the vibration and reproducing it exactly in this musical instrument in our ear, which connects to the three smallest bones of the body, the ossicles, which then transmit this sound and amplify it to an amazing little organ called the cochlea, the size of a pea, the shape of a seashell, within which there is liquid, and there is a membrane, the basilar membrane, spirally round within it. And as the pressure from the bones brings vibration from the tympanic membrane, so the liquid vibrates, and so the membrane vibrates. And within that vibration, the membrane opens and flexes and lets in the liquid. The liquid has potassium ions. Potassium ions fire the cells beneath and connect to our auditory cortex. And our feelings, our ways of sensing, our movement and our emotions, all of the things are communicated to directly by this sound. We believe that this is a fundamental part of our evolution. Human beings need this and needed it in order to grow and develop. It was the way that we communicated our feelings one to another. The way that we share them is through sound. Going in through your ears and through mine, activating our systems of feeling. We call it communicative musicality. It's in all of us in our evolution, and as babies relive their evolution, communicate with their mothers through these sounds. We make these sounds to share our feelings. Indian music is the music of the world that most relives our evolution. Within every piece of classical Indian music, we relive human evolution. The sa that Darren is singing, the still point of beginning, the string of the string theory. Going on to the wonderful aberrations of Prakriti's voice in the rag Purvi, the beautiful evening rag. The music is both expressive of a sophisticated cultural system, but it also has simple emotional communication. It has its own communicative musicality. We can see, if you look at the screen, we have a trace of Darren's autonomic system. And we can see little changes as he listens to the sounds of Prakriti's voice. When you hear him speak, and when you hear a little bit later on him sing, you'll see more dramatic changes take place. Because this is how the sound has entered our autonomic nervous system, our system of neurotransmission, our hormonal endocrine systems. Music is constantly sculpting this within us every moment. The ancient philosophers knew this, but modern science took a long time to catch up. Maybe about the last 25 years, we began to catch up with this idea that music sculpts our inner lives and our emotional senses. I've had the privilege of helping develop a system where we can predict this. We've made a model of the lower part of the human brain, of the ancient part of our brain that processes this, and the organs within it that process it. We don't use signal processing. We've invented a different form of computation where we actually model biological organs. And we're able to predict how human beings will react with their autonomic systems, their blood pressure, their physiology to sound. And we're in the process of categorizing the world's music through mobile phone platforms. So coming to you someday soon will be the chance to predict your neurophysiological responses to music.
Our healthy nervous system moves easily between different states of arousal, upwards with activation and energy, and downwards when we're relaxed and reposed. So you might notice that as I start speaking, things might change in the way that my nervous system is working. The sound was helping me to regulate my nerves for standing here up on the stage. You might see that as I become more activated in the way that I speak, my heart rate changes. So when we have a healthy nervous system, we can use music to enhance our state of being so that it follows us where we want to go as we glide effortlessly between parasympathetic and sympathetic arousal. But those people who have a dysregulated nervous system due to traumatic events or to developmental challenges, we can start to use music as a therapeutic tool to guide individuals as they move into more healthy responses. So instead of the healthy, easy glide that you have with a healthy system, those people who have dysregulated systems tend to get stuck at one end or other of the active system. So either in the high activation of a overstimulated fight-flight response, or in the depressive states of the freeze response, which is our most primitive and our most powerful defense mechanism. This can make us sluggish and it can make us more difficult to get moving. Also, people can get stuck flipping between those two systems. So hyperactivity followed by crash in a constant cycle that leaves little space for healthy repose. And if we live in those states of being for long periods of time, this can be very damaging for us. It affects our health, it affects our mood, and it also affects our ability to make contact with other people. Our lives can become difficult, they can become fragmented, and it also can become much shorter. Music actually works on us automatically, so we don't need to think about that. It's interacting with our biology, with our heart rate, with our blood pressure, with our breathing, and with our endocrine system. but it's also interacting with us psychologically, and it's changing our mood and releasing emotion. This also helps us in a social sphere. Socially, we're experiencing an experience together, which is binding us as a community. So we become a community out of whereas we were once isolated. Now, every single culture in Earth understands this and has created its own musical technology in which to regulate its people, create social cohesion, and create health. Singing, particularly, is very, very useful in changing those dysregulation patterns. So we have various different tools within singing that helps to do that, particularly rhythm. So Prakriti is now going to take us on a little journey. So feel for yourselves what's happening for you, starting in a rested state. Moving now into a bit more alertness. And moving now into full-on energy. And you can see little changes in my heart rate as I start to plug into what she's doing. The other really important thing is breathing. Now, breath is intimately connected with our nervous system, but the kinds of patterns that come up when we have dysregulation can be very difficult and very damaging on the body long term. But if we use simple song, we can start to build and re-regulate those patterns. So we start with short phrases.
Sa re ga pa ga re sa. Sa re ga pa ni pa ga re sa. Sa re ga pa ni sa ni pa ga re sa.
So then we might double those phrases.
Sa re ga pa ni sa ni pa ga re sa. Sa re ga pa ni sa ni pa pa ni sa ni pa ga re sa.
And then we might double those phrases again.
Indian Rag Sangeet is a unique, sophisticated, delicate form of music. It has the rags for the specific time of the day. It has rag for the specific seasons of the year. And also, it relates to the circle of life. It communicates emotionally. As Professor Nigel Osborne rightfully said, that we are working and researching toward the communicative musicality. Our own Rag Sangeet is the greatest tools which we can use in the classroom, in the mainstream education, in special needs education, and can increase the children's communication difficulties. The recent research has shown that children suffering with certain communication difficulties, such as autism, music can greatly help them. Our work in last 2 years in the school called Vidya Sagar in Chennai, we have noticed the children is immensely developing their communication skill with the help of rag. For instance, Rag Bilaval, the children are doing and making music and interacting with each other. Their communication is increasing, their interaction within the peer group is increasing, their interaction with the teachers and their parents are increasing. And as a result, they're having an immense sense of achievement, the achievement of making music. Here is a video clipping for you from Vidya Sagar, Chennai.
When Naciketa entered the house of Yama of death, he also had some other gifts. And one was the gift of fire, the ritual of fire, or something of love. Prakriti and Darren and I are here in India developing an opera based on the story of Naciketa. And you'll hear Darren singing one of the arias where he remembers, as Naciketa, the song his mother sang, last song she sang about love and fire. Notice and watch, please, our trace of Darren's autonomic nervous system as he sings, going on behind me, the red line behind.
There is only love. There is only fire. There is only fire. There is only love. What does it mean? What did she mean? What did she mean? How can it be that two become one, descend into fire, and then rise into the sky of the other? How can it be? Tell me, how can the lake of life be born of desire? How can we sigh eternity in the flower and see oceans in every drop of dew? What did she mean, my mother? Oh, my mother, tell me, what it